Welcome to the first in a series of great historical places in Southampton Football Club's history, and as you can see we are stood outside St Mary's Church in Southampton. This was the place where in November 1885 Southampton Football Club was first formed by a group of people for the Young Men's Christian Association. It was here that they thought of the idea of playing football at the time when the town of Southampton was very much rugby based and soccer or football was in its infancy, and they decided to hold a meeting in that November to form a football club. St Mary's Church was of course the mother church of Southampton, and at that time one of the most prominent churches in the city. And I'm stood outside here now. It suffered extensive damage in the Second World War and was rebuilt after that, and is of course within a short goal kick of St Mary's Stadium itself, so that when Saints moved back to St Mary's in 2001 it was almost a return to our spiritual roots, so to speak. But it's always remained prominent in the club's history, despite the fact that ties with it have long since been cut directly. And of course it did have the funeral of Ted Bates here, the man who, it could be said, laid the foundations for the model football club. And of course it had the remembrance service for Marcus Lieber, sadly, a few years ago. So although Southampton are no longer tied directly to the church, it does play a prominent part in our history. Behind St Mary's Church, just to my right here, was Grove Street. This was the site of what was the headquarters of the Young Men's Christian Association. Now, of course, as we can see, it has got the grounds of the City College in Southampton. But back then, on a cold, dark November night, the men of St Mary's Young Men's Christian Association sat together in a room and voted to form what became Southampton Football Club. The man who presided over the meeting was the vicar of St Mary's Church, Reverend Soul, and it was decided that the club's name would be Southampton St Mary's Young Men's Christian Association, and that led to the team being popularly known as it grew as the Saints. That concludes episode 1 of Great Historical Landmarks of Southampton Football Club. We've now covered the birthplace of the club, St Mary's Church, which remains our spiritual home. Now let's go to where the first ever game for Southampton Football Club was played. Join us next time on the Ugly Inside video channel.